How to shift dimensions and perceive a new reality. Literally. It's super duper easy. In fact, it's so easy, they may be like, damn, this is not really that deep. Or you may be like, damn, this doesn't really make big change. Or maybe like, damn, I heard some shit like this. You just may not think it's really that deep or that important, but it's actually super fucking deep and super fucking important. It could make small changes, or it can make something as big as putting you inside the fucking astral plane, literally. And I'll explain it all. So, if you look up dimension on Google, right, it tells you a dimension is a measurable extent of some kind. Length, width, and height, as we know, are all measurements, but those are not the only measurements, not even fucking close. We use several measurements every single day, all the time, and likely don't even realize that shit, but you're about to realize it right now. On top of that, you feel me? We likely, if you realize the whole measurement shit, how we constantly use several if you realize that we constantly use several measurements every single day, then you'll likely start to see how you probably shift dimensions every single day. Therefore, you likely perceive new realities every single day. Now, with all that shit being said, right, this whole entire thing, the whole measurement shifting bullshit thing, this is the reason why in quantum physics, right, all realities exist. Like inside the same space, there could be multiple realities because those realities have different measurements, right? Now, the one that we actually see manifest, right, is because as a collective, we tend to measure things a certain way. Therefore, as a collective, we manifest those situations. If we were to, as a collective, measure shit differently and place our awareness on different realities that have different measurements and stuff like that, if we all did that at the collective, we would manifest those realities and stuff like that. Now, with all that shit being said, right, let me show you how your measurements will literally determine the reality that you perceive. Okay, this is gonna be a simple one, and then we'll start to get more dramatic about the whole. Like we'll get into like jumping whole timelines and shit, and we'll talk about fucking the astral plane shit. So first things first, small shit, right? You have a person who only measures things off of intelligence, and that is a measurement. Saying how intelligent is it? That's a measurement. You feel me? You have one person who does that and one person who measures things only off of strength. How strong is it type shit. You feel me? That's a measurement. Now, with that being said, right, the person who only measures intelligence, right, will likely become smart because that's how they become, fulfilled in life. You feel me? The strong person will, become strong because that's how they get fulfilled in life, right? And they will be perceiving two different realities, right? Now, here's how you can easily see this shit. If you put them both in a cafeteria, right, and they stand inside the same exact space, like they could be standing both right the fuck here, you feel me? Like they take turns standing right the fuck here, you feel me? This is how you had multiple realities inside the same exact space. Okay. So the smart guy, right, stands in that one place and looks around and sees all these jocks and says, damn, these jocks are doing horrible in life. He moves, the jock comes and stands inside the same exact place and says, damn, all these nerds are doing horrible in life. So inside this same exact space, you have two realities. One where the fucking jocks suck, one where the fucking nerds suck. And it's only like that because the fucking smart guy is only measuring fucking intelligence, and the jock and the strong guy is only measuring strength. You could measure both though and be like, damn, these jocks and nerds both need some work. So those are whole. This is very simple to see, but these are whole different realities, right? Now, if the smart person were to eventually care about strength, you could actually see them change their reality because they will start working out, getting stronger, all that other bullshit. So you can actually see those changes. Now, sometimes when you shift realities, you can't even see the fucking change. You feel me? So, and there's two reasons for that. So, with this whole working out shit, right? Where the one where he's only smart and the one where he works out, they're like this. There's their reality. He's only smart. Over here, he's smart and he works out. They're kind of close, but there is some space. Therefore, you actually see the change happen over time, type shit. You feel me? Now, some realities are so fucking close that when you shift measurements, they just boom, it just happens type shit. You feel me? Like it just fucking happens. You feel me? You don't even see the fucking shift. Now some guys are so fucking far. You feel me? That you perceive them first inside of dreams before they get here. An example of that is when you perceive the future and stuff like that. You feel me? When you perceive a future event, right? You perceived an event that was, inside of a certain space, right? That you weren't experiencing with inside this present moment, but you picked up on it because somehow you shift your measurements to that event. Here's what I mean. Okay, so let's say it's nighttime, right? And you're inside your bedroom, right? And you have a dream that takes place a week later of somebody being inside your bedroom, right? What happened is when you fell asleep at night, you started measuring things differently and you perceived the reality that fit these measurements that took place inside the future. Now, those measurements are not yet inside this now moment. Therefore, the person is not inside your room at that now moment. They will be inside your room within a week. Like inside the dream, you may only see them inside your room, but they got there because they called your phone and asked to come over type shit. Now the thing is, that reality does not have to manifest. And here's how. If you change how you measure things, you can change the reality that you perceive. Reason why is because you feel me, like what was I say? Oh, the reason why is because usually your dreams will manifest because you don't change how you think. You don't change how you measure things, right? But here's how it could change. Let's say the two people, right? So one's a vegan, one's a fucking meat eater, right? The person who came over is a meat eater, right? So you're a vegan, right? And you had the dream a week before it happened. The meat eater came over and stuff like that. At the time, you ain't care about meat eaters and stuff like that. But 2 days later, you may be like, you know what? I don't like people who eat meat. So when they asked to come over, you said no instead of yes. Now inside the dream, right? Inside the dream, you perceive the reality where they came over because at the time you had no problem with meat eaters. Therefore, when they called you inside the future, you would have said yes. But because you changed how you measured things, you changed how you thought, and you're like, you know what? I don't like meat eaters. You feel me? Now when they called, you said no. So you just changed that whole reality and stuff like that based upon how the fuck you thought. Now, there's also realities, right? It don't really gotta be present or future. Like for example, there's one where you're rich, one where you're poor, right? Now, obviously, like, okay, like if you're poor right now, right? Then the rich one could be inside the future. If you're rich right now, the poor could be inside the future. But it's not really about that. You feel me? Don't think about future past for these ones. Only think about that if an event like your friend calling you, that was already going to happen type shit. If your friend kept on thinking the same exact way, you feel me? So that's more like a future event that was already gonna happen. You being rich and poor could be more up to you. Therefore, right, when you think, okay, like, hold up, my bad. Boom. I forgot to say this part. The rich and poor reality could be very fucking far from each other and stuff like that. You feel me? They can be very fucking far, right? And one's not really in the present or in the future or stuff like that. But what I'm saying is because they're so far, right? When you perceive one, right, it takes time for it to manifest. So you may have dreams about it first, and then it manifests here. And here's how that shit can happen, right? You may switch your measurements, right? And now you get new ideas that make you rich. So like let's say you're measuring your confidence, right, off of your looks. Therefore, if you're ugly, you didn't feel confident, and that shit made you poor. But let's say you got your confidence off of your intelligence now, not because you're smart as shit, you feel confident inside that and use your smarts to become rich type shit, you feel me? If you measure things differently, right? Simply measuring your confidence off of something could change if you become rich or fucking poor, literally. You just saw that shit. So that's what I'm saying. That's the point of this video. In the astral plane shit is this. In the astral plane, you're measuring things completely different. If you could consciously shift your awareness to those measurements, you would consciously put your awareness inside the astral plane, literally. So with all that shit being said, how do you shift dimensions and perceive new reality? Simply shift how you measure things. What are measurements? Measurements are pretty much judgments. What judges? Your intellect. What's your intellect? The thing that thinks. So the thing that thinks is always judging things. Good or bad, right or wrong, attractive or ugly, smart or dumb, strong or weak, tall or small. Shit like that, right? All the ands and the ors, good and bad, good or bad, all the ands and the ors. If you shift those things, you will shift dimensions and you are perceiving new reality based upon those measurements, based upon that dimension, literally. And I hope that shit made sense. It's pretty simple, but can make a big change if you wanted to. And yeah, sometimes you see the change happen over time. Sometimes you see it as after dreams first. Sometimes there's no dreams. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes you don't really see no change, but it just happens. You know, it gets tricky sometimes. But that's pretty much it. Peace.